Good morning, America. I'm Charles Gibson.
I'm Diane Sawyer, and it's Tuesday, September 11th, 2001.
It is lunchtime in London, 5 a.m. in Los Angeles, and 8 a.m. here in New York, live from the CNN Financial News headquarters.
It is beautiful outside, perfect September day with lots of sunshine. Oh, would you look at Washington, huh? I'm going outside today.
Other than that, it's kind of quiet around the country. We like quiet. It's quiet. It's too quiet.
Is that American 11 trying to call?
We have some planes. Just stay quiet and you'll be okay. We're turning to the airport.
The pilot, everyone's been stabbed. They're in the back of the airplane. They're not. Oh, the hijackers are in the cockpit.
Oh, no.
Okay, we just lost.
CNN breaking news.
This just in, you are looking at obviously a very disturbing live shot there. That is the World Trade Center, and we have unconfirmed reports this morning that a plane has crashed into one of the towers of the World Trade Center.
There is a major incident in Lower Manhattan.
We just got a report in that there's been some sort of explosion at the World Trade Center in New York City.
Apparently, a plane has just crashed into the World Trade Center.
We understand that a plane has crashed into the World Trade Center.
We have serious news of a major possible air crash in the United States.
An incredible plane crash into the World Trade Center.
That happened within the last few moments.
Just a few moments ago, something believed to be a plane crashed into the South Tower of the World Trade Center. We have no idea what it was. It was a tremendous boom.
A gigantic sonic boom. The air is filled with hundreds of thousands of pieces of paper that are just sort of floating like confetti.
Stuff just started falling, like bricks and paper and everything. When I looked over, there was this guy that was on fire. He was like screaming, and I just told him to roll, and he said he can't.
He caught fire as a result of the falling debris?
Yeah.
Do you have any idea what hit the World Trade Center? We're getting reports that an airplane hit the building.
I hear a plane, then all of a sudden I saw it go right into the World Trade Center.
So
right
you saw a plane crash into the side of the World Trade Center?
Yes, sir.
How big, can you tell us? Give us an idea.
It would be hard to imagine that a small plane could create that kind of hole in a building like the World Trade Center.
These buildings are almost a city block size building. This is a large plane.
You're talking about a large passenger commercial jet.
Large passenger commercial jet.
Building in the 60s, a helicopter crashed on the top of what was the Pan Am building, now the MetLife building.
Remember, it is shortly before 9 o'clock East Coast time, so we suspect there would have been a great many people in the building and presumably on those top floors as well.
There is considerable and truly terrifying damage on some of those floors at the top.
More than 40,000 people work there, and on any given day, more than 100,000 business and leisure visitors come to the World Trade Center.
All pilots who fly in this area know very well where the World Trade Center is located.
Whenever people for Newark, Kennedy, or LaGuardia, when those planes are put into rotation as they're waiting for landing, they circle around this area, which is right near the Statue of Liberty.
Wind speeds at this point, not tremendous at all. Flying conditions, near perfect.
As you can see, this is a clear blue sky day in Manhattan. If this was an accident, it would be a needle in a haystack kind of accident.
I'm afraid we've got a tragedy on our hands.
This is horrible.
This is a special report from News Channel 4.
Good morning, everybody. I am Jane Hansen in the News Channel 4 studio this morning to bring you some news. We are looking at a picture now of the World Trade Center.
This has been an ABC 7 Eyewitness News special report.
Good evening, everyone, or good morning, actually. We have breaking news, this out of downtown Manhattan. A plane has allegedly crashed into the World Trade Center. You're looking at live pictures right now from News Chopper 7. A plane has crashed into the side of the World Trade Center. Details that they sound very sketchy.
Can you tell us what kind of an airplane is it?
It had to be a 737 that had hit the World Trade Center. It was a big, big plane.
Okay, and what do you see at this point?
Oh, smoke and screaming and, screaming engines and all the fire engines and police departments are all traveling down that way. Oh, my God almighty, the black smoke all over the place. I hope nobody, if there's got to be somebody killed in it and poor people that went to work.
Well, Tony, we don't have any confirmation from any officials of this happening. Just repeat again, you were just going outside.
I was bringing the garbage out to the freight entrance when we heard this roaring engine. We looked up and there was the plane. Next thing we know, in a matter of seconds, we heard a boom. We went to the corner and there it was right in the middle of the World Trade Center.
Where are you standing right now, Tony?
I'm right in the building right now.
Okay, and what do you see at this point?
Oh, people all staring up there, looking at it and all. Oh, my God, the smoke is coming out. Black billow smoke.
Okay, you can see we are physically looking at one of our sky
down
cams
there right now toward the financial district. Again, you see Tower 1.
Yes, Tower number 1, World Trade Center Tower number 1. Obviously, the upper floors there. We're not sure where that plane was originating from. We're not sure if it was trying to land, which airport. Of course, we're working on that. We still see some fire, fresh fire from another part of the building there as we zoom in on our cameras there.
Have you seen any evidence, Elliot, of people being taken out of the building? You say that emergency vehicles are there, understandably so, but of course the major concern is human loss.
Oh my God, another plane has just hit.
Oh, another one just hit.
Oh, my God.
My God.
Just flew directly over my building.
Oh, my goodness.
Oh, God.
There's another one.
There was another one.
Running away very, very quickly. There are more explosions further down the building.
Explosion.
The building's exploding right now. You got people running up the street. Everybody's panicking.
Clearly, the thing is out of control.
One of our producers said perhaps a second plane was involved.
You saw a plane?
Yes, I just saw a plane go into the building.
That looks like a second plane.
It could be a 727 right there, maybe even bigger.
This one into the East Tower.
Yes.
I wonder if there are air traffic control problems.
Another passenger plane hitting the World Trade Center. These pictures are frightening indeed.
This is so shocking, of course, to everybody watching.
What we've just seen is about the most shocking videotape I've ever seen.
What are the odds of two separate planes hitting both towers?
And now you have to move from talk about a possible accident to talk about something deliberate.
This has to be deliberate, folks.
Why do you say that was definitely on purpose?
Because it just flew straight into it. It literally flew itself into World Trade Center.
I think we have a terrorist act of proportions that we cannot begin to imagine at this juncture.
Oh, my God.
My goodness.
Oh, this is terrifying. Awful.
That is a very hard thing to watch.
To watch powerless is a horror.
What we have been fearing for the longest time here apparently has come to pass.
President Bush has been informed of this incredible tragedy happening in New York.
Not clear. We're going to show you. This is the second plane after the first tower was already on fire. This happened just minutes ago. We'll let the pictures tell the story. You saw it live here on CNN as it happened. The plane crashed right into the side of the World Trade Center, causing a huge explosion. Now, as we speak, and we're showing you live pictures now, smoke and fire taking place in both towers of the World Trade Center.
And it appeared that second plane that we actually did have on videotape, on its approach toward that tower, actually turned. And I have to think, I'm not an expert in these things, so I don't know, but it would seem as though that move actually may have caused much more damage.
Holy cow! We have pictures for you. If you can power us up, we have photos for you. Are those our pictures? Okay. Check, can you get it in center screen? Hi, it's Melinda. Can anybody hear me? Can anybody give me information? What's the plan? We are up. We understand police have banned helicopters from getting too close. We will have to stay back and cannot get correctly over the scene. We will do our best. Holy shit. That is unbelievable. Hey, it's me. How are you? I'm just trying to get some information about what the plan is. We have photographs for you guys. These visuals are unbelievable. Are they doing a cut-in? What's the plan? Can you help me out? We are as close as we can to it. They will not allow us directly over it. They have banned us from the area. Police are asking that we stay back so they can do what they need to do. The initial guess out of the different air towers is that it was a 727 or a 737. It may even have possibly been 2 planes. We're not sure. Good morning. You're looking at live pictures of the World Trade Center Tower 1 from Manhattan Lower District. As you can see, we have a very serious fire in the World Trade Center. What we understand, the information is still early in coming, but what we understand is that 2 separate planes have hit Tower 1, which is the tower that you're seeing on your picture right now. As you can see, there are flames. There is a massive fire here at this Tower 1 of the World Trade Center. It's in the upper portion of the building, probably the upper quarter of the tower. Now, of course, the problem with fighting something like this is that it is you can't do an external attack. Firefighters are going to have to go on the inside of this building to actually fight this particular fire. They're going to have to be using things like high-rise packs and standpipe packs. They're going to be setting up a command center here, and they'll be using a cascade system to refill their air bottles. Now, the air bottles only carry 30 to 45 minutes of air, so you can imagine what it's going to be like to try to attack this fire, because they're going to have to climb up this many stories to get to the actual fire, and then probably immediately have to turn around and get their air packs repacked. Now, what we understand is, again, 2 separate planes have hit this. We don't understand why at this point, but we do know that 2 planes, we're not sure what size planes they were, but we think they were substantial in size, have hit the World Trade Center. This, again, is Tower 1. We do not know exactly what happened as far as to why they have hit this, but you can see that there is a big plume of smoke which is towering into the air. I would say it goes back a couple of miles at this point, even further. You can certainly see it from almost anywhere in this area.
Am I still connected?
Winston, this would support probably what Libby and you both said, that perhaps the fuselage was in the building that would cause a second explosion such as that.
Well, that's what just happened then.
That certainly.
Yeah, people are running up.
We're getting word that perhaps.
Okay, hold on. The people here everybody's panicking.
Keep in mind that the first plane hit about 8:48 a.m., so there had to already be a number of people at work inside the World Trade Center. We're going to go right now bring in Rose Arce, one of our producers here at CNN. She's with us on the phone and has with her a number of people who have escaped the building. Rose.
Yes, there's a huge crowd. I'd say about hundreds of people on the streets that come from south to north. I mean, really thousands of people that have been running from inside these buildings. You know, it's a very heavily trafficked area in downtown, the World Trade Center. Many of them were inside the building when they felt the explosion. And they say there was just pandemonium. There was no warning, no alarms, no anything. Everyone just raced from their desks, ran downstairs, and now there's a steady stream of folks running away from the building. Some people saying that they're fearing there'll be another explosion, and when they saw the second plane, convinced that this was dangerous, there's just an absolute flood of folks escaping downtown Manhattan right now.
And Rose, do you have anybody with you that could talk about being inside the World Trade Center when this happened?
Right now, honestly, there are scores of people that are literally running by me. There's debris on the base of the building that has continued to fall, as you know, even as far as a block away from the building. And what's happened is that everyone seems to have figured out that there's ongoing danger, and there's just a stream of folks running as quickly as they can uptown away from this.
Understandably. What about rescue efforts? I would imagine there's still a number of people inside those buildings.
Well, right now what you see is there's trucks trying to get through, and people have actually jumped from the crowd and are trying to help direct traffic to try to get emergency vehicles there. There is no traffic going in the other direction, but because of the flow of people, it looks like some emergency vehicles are actually having trouble getting to the scene.
Do not, if you're watching this from the World Trade Center, do not get on an elevator. It is not a good idea to use an elevator in the middle of a fire. Obviously, the water and other fire can short out the equipment, so you will have to walk down. The World Trade Centers, of course, are among the tallest buildings in the world, making this an even more complicated fire to battle. Fortunately, the good thing that we can say is that the firefighters in Manhattan are very, very talented when it comes to fighting high-rise fires. This is what they do best. They've been trained for it and trained for it and trained for it, and today is the day they're going to have to use that training. Again, for you who are just joining us, we are showing you live pictures of the World Trade Centers. As you can see, they are on fire. Both towers. The tower on the left is Tower 1. The tower on your right is Tower 2. We understand that 2 separate planes have hit the World Trade Centers. We are not sure if there was some kind of technical malfunction, if this was some type of other attack. We're not exactly sure what happened yet. We do know 2 separate planes. We feel that they are fairly substantial in size from initial reports. We do not know exactly what they were. But again, both towers are on fire. Tower 1 obviously suffering the biggest fire from what we can see at our vantage point. We are not able to move to a different point simply because the police have asked us to stay back so they can do the work that they need to do in this general area. They are setting up a general command center, or at least you would be expected for them to be able to do that, to be able to set up a general command center. If you are tuning in and watching from Lower Manhattan, it's a very good idea. Again, do not turn on your water. Please do not use your washing machine. Do not use your dishwasher. Firefighters need all the water pressure they can get at this point. It's very, very important for us that you actually heed these firefighters. They really need your help in this one. This is how you can help out. Again, do not go wandering downtown. They need all the ability that they can do to get to these different areas. They need to be able to set up their command centers, get the different firefighting equipment down there. It's just a good idea. Please do not sightsee. This is not the time to do it. You can look at the pictures here on television. That's really going to be your best view anyway. However, if you are somewhere in New Jersey or Brooklyn or even in Queens, you probably can see the plume.
Katie, I don't want to alarm anybody right now, but apparently there was an explosion of some kind here at the Pentagon.
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness, there is smoke pouring out of the Pentagon.
The Secret Service was very concerned, pointing up at the jet in the sky.
The Secret Service received what AP is describing as a credible threat of a terrorist attack against the White House itself.
The people who came out were told and ordered by the Secret Service to run.
Associated Press is reporting that a plane crashed at the Pentagon.
The heart of the military command center of the United States of America, John. It can't get much worse than this, let's hope.
Claire, what's that we're looking at?
Well, that's what we're trying to figure out right now. It's like nothing I've ever seen.
There's something going on behind the old executive office building.
We are also getting reports now that there is a fire on the mall in Washington. The car bomb has exploded at the State Department.
There is a plane circling the White House at the moment.
A white plane, a very big jet.
I'm in front of the Capitol, and a moment ago, police officers ran up to us and told us, and I quote, there is a plane that has been hijacked and is headed this way.
There has been an explosion of some kind at the Capitol.
And back toward the Supreme Court area, we just heard a low, muffled thud. It sounded like a small explosion. Sirens are going off around this city like you cannot believe.
Whatever is happening and whoever is responsible, we have no way of knowing if it's played out yet or if it's just going on. So every time we hear a plane go by, we wonder what the situation is and where it is headed.
Police have been sent to Union Station. A bomb squad has been sent to Union Station, which, as you know, John, is located just a couple of blocks from the Capitol.
All military personnel in the District of Columbia are now on something that is called Threat Level Delta, which is the highest state of alert in the military.
Some of the Secret Service now patrolling the perimeter in Lafayette Park, which is directly across from the White House, have automatic rifles drawn.
2 Navy carrier battle groups, the USS George Washington and the USS John F. Kennedy, are being dispatched out of Norfolk Naval Base right now. They are getting underway and heading up the eastern seaboard.
Wow.
And some people were...
Jamie, I need you to stop for a second. There has just been a huge explosion. We can see a billowing smoke rising.
Let's go to the trade tower again, because, John, we now have a... What do we have? We don't... Wow. It looks like a new plume, a new large plume of smoke.
Oh my God! Oh my God! Oh my God!
We're not sure exactly what happened, but it was another explosion on the far side of one of the buildings from where we're standing. The reverberation and another explosion on the right-hand side.
And I'll tell you that I can't see that second tower, but there was a cascade of sparks and fire, and now it looks almost like a mushroom cloud. What is behind it, I cannot tell you. But just look at that. That is about as frightening a scene as you will ever see.
The whole side has collapsed?
The whole building has collapsed.
The whole building has collapsed?
The building has collapsed. It folded down on itself.
You can see this extraordinary plume of smoke that is, or was at least, the second tower of the World Trade Center. You could, from where we were standing, see that second building, but you can't see it anymore.
We heard a big bang, and then we saw smoke coming out, and everybody started running out, and we saw the plane on the other side of the building, and there was smoke everywhere, and people are jumping out the windows. Over there, they're jumping out the windows, I guess because they're trying to save themselves. I don't know.
Bodies started dropping from the top floors of the tower closest to the highway. Obviously, they had two choices: to be burned in flames or to leap and end it all. It was quite tragic.
Whew. That is extraordinary. My God. Now, anybody who's ever watched a building being demolished on purpose knows that if you're going to do this, you have to get at the under infrastructure of a building and bring it down.
It looked like the top part of the building was so weakened by the fire that the weight of it collapsed the rest of the building. That's what appeared to happen.
They were not designed, perhaps, to take a direct strike from something the size of a 737 or perhaps an Airbus, perhaps fully loaded with fuel. Steel will melt.
I hope I live. I hope I live. It's coming down on me. Here it comes. I'm getting behind a car. It's incredible. Okay, I'm gonna have to go find people who need help, because I don't think I'm one of them. You okay, sir? Okay. Can I just get a toot off your respirator? Yeah. Can I get a toot? I'm just getting a couple of clean breaths. This is the car I hid behind. It saved my life. I don't know what it is. They say someone needs help.
Yeah, Mike! Mike! Mike, come over here! Yeah!
Anybody need a doctor?
Where are you?
Oxygen. Don't have oxygen. Can you...
Hello, Doc.
Hey. That guy needs some oxygen if someone can share it with him.
10-4.
Thanks. They won't let me go any closer. No one can go in to get the people out. There's small explosions still going on.
Because of the concerns of the structural stability of the remaining tower, they are now evacuating their own command post and triage center, and they have to find an even further zone to move that to.
It doesn't seem like it. You got lots of people up here. Oh, God!
And there's, you can see, perhaps the second tower, the front tower, the top portion of which is collapsing.
Oh, there it goes, there it goes, there it goes, there it goes.
They seem to have the north problem at the north tower. Oh, my God.
Good Lord. There are no words.
America, offer a prayer.
One has to assume that thousands of lives have been extinguished.
May God help those who are there, and the victims and their families, and all the souls that are lost today.
I've never seen anything like it. I've never seen anything like this. This whole place looks like a war zone. There's debris everywhere. It's hard to breathe. And when that cloud came at us, I could feel it, the force of it.
We have a report that there has been a collapse at part of the Pentagon itself. There is now in New York and in northern New Jersey a critical shortage of blood.
A blood shortage, we are being told, in Washington.
United 93, go ahead.
Here's the captain. I would like to order to remain seated. We have bomb aboard, and we are going to back to the airport, and we have our demand, so please remain quiet.
Affirmative, he said there was a bomb on board.
Did you hear some interference on the frequency here a couple of minutes ago, screaming?
We have a report that a 747 is down in Pennsylvania.
I'm going to interrupt you, Senator McCain. These are the first pictures we have in. This is from Somerset County, Pennsylvania. This is United Airlines 93. This was a Boeing 757 bound from Newark, New Jersey to San Francisco. It crashed in Somerset County, Pennsylvania, near the town of Shanksville, south of Pittsburgh.
We are getting information now that one of the other buildings, Building 7 in the World Trade Center complex, is on fire and has either collapsed or is collapsing.
News from here in Washington on these events.
As you can see, Megan McGrath is live at the Pentagon from Columbia Pike, very near the Pentagon. Megan, what can you tell us about the latest happening there?
Joe, I can't hear you. I'm assuming that you can hear and see me at this point. We are on Columbia Pike. If you take a look behind my shoulder, you can see the south side of the Pentagon. Actually, just moments before this happened, after the World Trade Center incident, we were headed from a different location to National Airport. We were on 395 when all of a sudden we heard a boom and we saw this huge fireball rise from the Pentagon. We knew immediately that something terribly wrong had happened, and we made our way to this location. We originally pulled up, there's a gas station nearby, had a really good view of the south side of the Pentagon. Smoke, flames, it was just a real mess. Very, very shocking. And of course, people were running around.
Quite extraordinary. These are the emergency workers who are coming back. It was just about 10 minutes ago that we described to you the possibility of that North Tower collapsing. About 5 minutes after we went off the air, it did collapse. Once again, we have no idea at this point the loss of life. I can only tell you there were hundreds of emergency workers down there, about 5 or 6 blocks. It took probably about, I would say, no more than 50 or 60 seconds for that dust cloud, dust and smoke, to literally make it the 5 or 6 blocks up here and begin to envelop us, at which point we started to move out of the way. There were literally dozens and dozens of firemen who were trying to run past us. In fact, our cameraman even put one of the captains in his car and drove him down to a command post. The people who you see here are pretty much all emergency workers.
That was NBC's Pat Dawson again. He's standing about 10 blocks from where the World Trade Center towers used to stand. You're looking at the collapse of one of those towers right now. We now have an AP News alert out of Pittsburgh. Officials at Somerset County Airport are confirming the crash of a large plane just north of the airport. That's about 80 miles southeast of Pittsburgh. Again, officials at Somerset County Airport confirmed the crash of a large plane north of that airport, which is located about 80 miles to the southeast of the city of Pittsburgh. We do not know whether that crash of that plane is related to what has become an obvious terrorist attack both here in New York City and in Washington, D.C. at the Pentagon.
Of the still untold loss of life, and it's going to be horrendous. We don't know yet what the exact numbers are, but we can only tell you by looking at those pictures that you can guess as well as that we can, that there are going to be a lot of people who are not going to be able to escape that.
Back in 1993, when the bomb blew up in the basement of the World Trade Center, so many survivors talked about how long it took them with no power in the elevators to walk down the smoke-filled stairways. And you think about how many people were still trying to escape those buildings when first one and then the second tower collapsed.
Let me mention that,
I was going to say, here's what the president said. He canceled an education appearance in Florida. Here's what he said just a short time ago.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is a difficult moment for America. I, unfortunately, will be going back to Washington after my remarks. Secretary Rod Pace and Lieutenant Governor will take the podium and discuss education. I do want to thank the folks here at Booker Elementary School for their hospitality. Today, we've had a national tragedy. 2 airplanes have crashed into the World Trade Center in an apparent terrorist attack on our country. I have spoken to the Vice President, to the Governor of New York, to the Director of the FBI, and have ordered that the full resources of the federal government go to help the victims and their families, and to conduct a full-scale investigation to hunt down and to find those folks who committed this act. Terrorism against our nation will not stand. And now, if you join me in a moment of silence.